Welcome back to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour. We are back now with Scott Schweitzer of Bakersfield Speedway, coming off another momentous opening night. Incredible crowd there. When I got there about 8 o'clock or so, I would say it was pretty much full.
Yeah, we had a fantastic crowd for our 2015 season opener. It was a good night.
It's kind of like high school football, though, in a way. It's kind of interesting, like the parallels. I mean, if you can imagine this is – so you have people who are sitting watching the action, and then you have pockets, like large pockets of people over by the snack bar, just like sitting around talking on both ends. So – it's always more full than it may look in some ways, but it was still pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's certain areas like on the ramp, people like to stand there. They stand in turn one, so but yeah, great night. We had great weather, great car counts. I mean, everything just lined up perfect, and it was a great way to start off the 2015 season.
So, I mean, because of the weather, the track was a little bit moist, right, initially?
Oh, yeah, it was wet.
I tried to navigate it. I don't think my shoes ever recovered from that, trying to get down there. I went down there with
we had the rain on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday it rained quite a bit. So, and dealing with clay, it just absorbs all that moisture and holds it in. And then we grade it, we worked it, and you think you're going to have the optimum track, but once the cars start running on it and start bringing that moisture back up to the top, it created for a tricky situation.
It's one of those weekends where I just admit, I was at Famoso Saturday, which was their biggest day. And then I come down to you guys, and I can't find a place to park. And luckily, I got a spot. And I won't repeat the conversation I had with Tom Mock about parking. But I found a place to park. I hauled all my stuff in. I got in there, but I mean, it was like up and down the street was completely full. It was incredible to see that, and it just had to make you feel good about things.
It did. Like I said. Dirt track racing's on a high, and we're fortunate to be a part of that. And the fans came out in groves to watch opening night.
Yeah.
And it was a great show. So, here we go. We got 34 more events to do.
Well, we got speaking of those events, let's do a couple of previews. We got the event this weekend. We got modified hobby stocks, street stocks, the IMCA stocks, mod lights, and mini dwarfs. A huge show, basically. And the hobby stocks race, I got that last week too. I mean. Yeah. Kevin Collier, we're talking a little bit more about him, though. Man, that was a hard-fought race. That's a hard-fighting class.
It is, and Kevin Collier wants the championship. So, I mean, he was real close last season, had a great battle with Steven Johnson, and he's ready to get it this year. And what a way to start off the 2015 season by getting the first win. And
then we get a chance to look at this new emerging class in the Mod Lights. What is your expectation for car count for Mod Lights?
Well, we had an open we had a group of guys rent the track Sunday, and there was 10 of them out there just practicing.
Right?
Yeah,
just practicing,
so there could be 15, hopefully 20 by mid-season. I mean, every time I turn around, so I hear this guy's buying one, this guy's buying one. And what the cool appeal to that is one of the conversations I had on Saturday night was the fact that they can race with their kids. Father and son can get out there and do it. So looking forward to it. And the modifieds, this is the first time they'll be on the track for 2015. And we have some sport mod guys. Ethan Dotson is moving up to an A mod. Chad Rackenbach's moving up to an A mod. So we got some new blood in there that's going to be really interesting Saturday night to see how they do.
Well, Saturday night's crowd, $12 general admission, $10 for senior, $10 for military with ID, $5 for kids 6 to 12, and kids 5 and under are free. And Mike?
Camping and parking are free.
And don't forget to follow these guys on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram, too. So they're doing a great job there. The late model race, which is the end of the night, it wasn't necessarily quite the battle that you wanted to get, but you did have a great competitive race there. And Bobby Hogue basically owned your track.
I just need to give him a set of keys if he doesn't already have it, because when that guy shows up at Bakersfield, he's the one to beat, and he proved it again. And we had a great field of cars. We did lose some from Vegas, unfortunate situation, but still had a great field, and lo and behold, Bobby again comes out on top.
And this guy, Don from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he drove a hell of a race, too.
That guy's fast. I mean, it's really amazing. We get used to seeing our local racers, and then when you get a big-name driver that comes, you can just see the way he drives the tracks different. I mean, the guy's lightning fast. I had a great conversation with him. Hopefully he's going to come back to the Bud Nationals. I didn't know he has a home in Phoenix, Arizona, so gave him a little the details on the 30th Bud Nationals. So he's kind of raised an eyebrow and was pretty excited.
Nice.
And he came in early on Friday and asked where they should go eat. We sent him to the Crystal Palace, and they had a great dinner. So he's pretty excited about Bakersfield.
Let's show a few more of these Tom Mock photos before we get into the racing highlights from the night. And Tom did a great job, but Bobby Hogue was just there. He is was just dominant. I think there's a photo too that I'll try to get on the Facebook page later of Bobby Hogue on just one wheel at one point. That Tom had. And let's go ahead and show the highlights from the event. And there it is. And Bobby Hogue was just out, and I was just amazed at the power and speed of these. I mean, if you have never been to Bakersfield Speedway, this is the one class to me that you got to go see because it's just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast they go on such a tight racetrack, and they were getting it. I think qualifying times they were in the low 13 seconds. Don Shaw for set fast times, so they were definitely getting around the track. Yeah,
Don Shaw was finishing second, coming out from Minnesota, and Bobby Hogue though just once they kind of cleared through some of the yellows they were dealing with, he just dominated the race, and we saw that at the Bud Nationals too, and see him there he is getting out of the car and talking to Dr. Mosier, and there he is with the win over Don Shaw. Stephen Drake finishing third, Nick Bartels finishing fourth, Mike Kirby in fifth, Mike Johnson sixth, Cody Laney in seventh, Tony Toast, another veteran driver, in eight, Jerry Stewart in 9, and Larry Childress in 10 for your West Coast late models. And there's Bobby Hogue with the check for $2,000. So a heck of a way to start the season.
Yeah, it was a great trip for Bobby. I mean, he always does good in Bakersfield. He loves coming here. So I wish we had him more often. Other racers probably don't. But I mean, he's just such a great guy, real down to earth, real friendly, great with the fans that go down and talk to him after the race, and great equipment, and just puts on a great show.
Let's take a look at the next class sport mods, and again, a big field here. And, man, it was fast and fun. And Billy Simpkins moving up from American stocks into his first career race in the sport mods, pretty much led wire to wire. There was a little tangle with him and Wayne Dotson to begin the race. But after that, go ahead and show the highlights, Chris, in that GMC Motor City car. Impressive night there. And Billy said after the race, hey, I'm here racing. So,
yeah, and the thing about that is Billy had some tough guys up there with Nick Spainhoward, California state champion, Gary Dutton there in the 97 car. I mean, there was some big heavy hitters that are experienced in that class that were knocking on the door, and he held them off for his first time in the sport mod. So he did a fantastic job, and it's going to be great to see this year how he does, as the season progresses.
Absolutely. All right, so there was the results with Simpkins winning it, Nick Spainhoward finishing second, Gary Dutton finishing third, Jason Nation fourth, Michael Johnson fifth, Cale Kinke finishing sixth, Wayne Dotson moved up from seventh, Jared Schweitzer in 8th, Garrett Jernigan in 9th, and Cruz Griffith in 10th. So, again, that's a pretty experienced field.
It is, and Wayne Dotson, had some misfortune, started on the front row and spun out, and he was put to the back of the field and then worked his way all the way back up to 7th. So it was Wayne was fast. It would have been interesting to see how Billy could have held off Wayne if Wayne wouldn't have had that incident on the first lap. So,
yeah.
Still a great show, looking for great things from this division all year long.
It really is a fun division to watch. Hobby stocks, and this was another one that was hard fought, and we talked about Collier winning this race. I mean, this was one that he was thrilled to win, and let's go and show those highlights too. I mean, this was a rough and tumble event, and but he got out there and he did work, and that's a lot of. I feel like on these dirt tracks, that's hard work. I don't even know how if I could even manage it myself at 10 miles an hour.
I think as watching the highlights, I wasn't there, but seeing as Scott said, the track. It's a little rough for sure. That's a lot of hard work. You got to be up on that wheel and ready to. You're always reacting because it's tossing you every different direction when you hit the corners there.
Yeah, you see those guys when they climb out of the car. They're just sweating and ready for water. So yeah, it's a workout definitely when they're in the car.
And there he is with the win, and the big win for him, and a very satisfying win for Kevin Collier, beating Kyle Wood, Robert Lawler finishing third, Lloyd Wren Jr. finishing fourth, Mike Hill Jr. finishing fifth, Tyler Irwin, Robert Swearnigan, Noah Allen, and Ralph Cook, and Jake Jones. So an interesting group of people there.
And if you want to get out there and see Ralph Cook race, I believe
I think he's 81, and this
81,
is definitely
and
his last
he said this
season.
is going to be his last year for sure, and he's out there competing.
And finally, we have two more classes to get through here and talk about. Let's go ahead and go to the American Stocks. Brandon Ratcliffe with the win in that one. Cody Johnson with second. Don Mead, Mike Waters, Nicholas Johnson, Tracy Childers finishing sixth. Trevor Baker in seventh. Jeb Bailey in eighth. Bryson Lynch in ninth, and Charles Morrison finishing 10th. And then skipping up to the mini stocks, Tina Bell. I got a little highlights of her winning. Couldn't get out of the car though.
Yeah,
she won.
someone beat me up on Facebook about that. Why didn't you have a picture of Tina? I'm like, Tina couldn't get out of her car.
Could not get out of her car.
You know, we had to interview her with her still buckled in. Well, she wasn't buckled in. She just couldn't get her steering wheel off for
Couldn't get the
whatever
steering wheel off
reason.
to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this there was a lot of cars that kind of got knocked out of this race. Only 7 finished, but you know, again, that was the first thing I saw when I got there, and it's a fun class to watch these mini stocks go and see Tina Bell, you know, driving ahead in her old Honda Prelude. She had a wide, big victory there at the end. So a great night of racing there to start things off. So you gotta be thrilled with this, how things shaped up for the first night.
Absolutely. We're very excited about car counts and looking forward to this weekend and every weekend after that. So, yeah, it was a great night. Weather was good. We're, you know, predicting another good night of weather and racing. So.
Yeah, you're going to see some. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, some of these early temperatures are going to be in the high 80s, almost 90 degrees.
Yeah.
What does that do for the track? You know, does it dry it out too fast for you, or would you like to keep it kind of moist still going into the?
Well, after this last weekend, you know, I'm looking forward to this sunshine because
Yeah.
we do need to dry it out a bit because we had some rain, but. You know, yeah. I mean, weather's our biggest hurdle when we're prepping the track, so it makes it tougher. Just more hours we put in it when it gets that. But we did bring in new clay, so we're kind of finding the balance of how much moisture we need for that new clay. But we'll get it figured out real quick.
Well, very good. Congratulations on opening night.
Thank
You know, and I'm sure you probably got a lot of people congratulating you too, and saying, hey, you know, great job and a historic night for you guys.
It was 70th season, and we were really excited about it, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll go finish up here with Kern County Raceway Park and previewing some of their events. And well, thanks to Scott Schweitzer for being here. And by the way, I really appreciate all the promotion that we got on the part of the track announcers. And I know you guys got some great love from Famoso on Saturday night too. We heard that call as well in the stands, and so it was cool to see everybody working together.
Yep.
So good stuff. We'll be right back with more here on the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield California.